Hello, everyone. This is Andrea's Pop Culture Guide. This is Andrea's Pop Culture Retrospective slash review. And of course, this is on the 2013 film, The Wolverine. This year marks the 10th anniversary of The Wolverine, which received Logan, aka Wolverine, played by Hugh Jackman, into Japan to meet old friend and confront his past in World War II, Nagasaki. The film was directed by James Mangold, his first superhero film before he returns to close out the Wolverine trilogy, 2017's superhero landscape masterpiece, Logan. Now, the Wolverine has since been overshadowed by the sequel, rightly so, because, let's face it, Logan is considered as one of the greatest superhero films due to its mature, rated R, down-to-earth storytelling, and sense of familiarity of the saga. But forgetting the Wolverine could be a mistake, because A, the Wolverine is a good second film. I mean, the script is professionally typed, character-driven for a 2010s blockbuster, especially superhero. Plus, Jackman is as good as ever, even with unfamiliar ensemble cast around him in the Japan cast. But the Wolverine can be viewed as Michael's getting a handle on the superhero genre before really flexing his muscles with Logan in 2017. The Wolverine is a superhero 2013 film with Wolverine, and this is the sixth installment in the X-Men films and the second in the trilogy of the Wolverine films after X-Men Origins Wolverine. And plus, this is a proper sequel in the main timeline to X-Men 3 The Last Stand that came out in 2006. Now, with Mangold directing it from a screenplay by Scott Frank and Mark Bomback based on the 1982 limited series called, again, The Wolverine by Chris Claremont and Frank Rila. Now, of course, it stars Hugh Jackman as Logan / Wolverine alongside the Japanese actors, I'll name a few, Tao Okamoto, she plays Mariko, and of course, Sunday, played by who plays the father of Shinshin, and of course Shinshin, and then of course Famke Janssen as Jean Grey. Wolverine dips into the kind of psychological territory for our main character, who don't need to have seen, our audience don't have to see the character in the previous 5 minutes. This is a completely solo film. Now, of course, after the massive disappointment of the first solo film outside of the series, of course, the 2009's X-Men Origins Wolverine, this is a far more successful blending of the character and script and imagination, at least until the third act, which we'll get into. Well, I mean, when it turns silly, it is nasally cartoon, which we'll get into. But again, the Wolverine is a solid second solid film for the character that's suffering a external crisis in the film, waiting the benefit of his immortality and getting the taste of what it's like to act, bleed, and weaken without the instant healing factor of his abilities in this film. Faced with the possibility of trading in his mutant powers, he must consider the question, what's worth it for that? I think this is really good dramatical crutch. Plus, using the 1982 limited series Wolverine by Claremont and Frank Miller, this makes Logan interesting. That is making the case that concerning Logan's exports into Japan to examine the setting and traditions of Eastern culture, but with the mix of Old West culture in the film. Furthermore, the Wolverine is a downright quiet, which is good. Rather than racing to the next set piece, it's willing to sit still, which is really awesome to see. There are plenty of meditative and moody moments between the action. It just take example, the 20 or so minute stretch of Logan and Mariko hanging out in Nagasaki, which is great because it is really only focused on character building. That's good. Now, for the action, there is a lot of action, and it's really good. Wolverine spends most of the movie fighting Yakuza thugs and so no CGI monsters, aliens, or even mutants like the past X-Men, which is really refreshing. Especially if you've seen the bloodier extended cut of the Wolverine, it means more violent fights when Wolverine lets his claws loose, similar to what we're going to see in Logan. Now, the strengths of Wolverine can easily describe Logan movie as well, but we're not there yet. However, there's other ways the two films are quite different. And this is where we can get into the same time. And this movie isn't perfect, and it has a lot of couple flaws, stopping the 2013 the Wolverine as a top tier Fox X-Men film in the ranking. As much as Mangold's movie excels with the character development of most of the ensemble cast, including Wolverine, the villains are the different story. Take Viper is literally a female fatale in a very tropey way. It isn't a bad idea on paper, but much like the rest of the film, it coats a film noir trope in the skin of a comic. It work, but it doesn't work with Viper because Viper is a cartoon character completely. Her supervillain behavior and her many eccentric slash green wardrobe she has in the film stands out very poorly in the film about her. She's an early sign of the camp that hurt the Wolverine's third act. And and of course, another camp that also hurts the film is of course Silver Samurai. Now, I don't mind the idea of separating the Silver Samurai as two separate entities, but the comic version is way more better than the film version. The comic version, the Kajishu Harada is in the film, but he was a mutant who could enforce his sword to fight wounds and elemental balls, which was cool. But they don't do that in this film, or they do it separately. However, however, the Harada character is otherwise a relative down to earth baddie, which is not bad. He does have an arc, and it does concludes in a very satisfactory way in the film. He does have just a similar armor instead. Now, revamping the armor as a 10-foot tall megasuit is a very odd choice, but that doesn't work in the film really. It just to the Japan's love with us in general in their culture. But besides those complaints, let's get into some of the good before we wrap up the review. Logan's arc does feel right out of Sandlight, which is great, and I think that's where the movie excels the most. Outside of the film, he left the X-Men for good, showing off violence and his penchant for killing Jean Grey back in X-Men 2 Last Stand in 2006. A wandering warrior who renounces killing is a Japanese trope after seeing the movies, anime, manga, whatever. In the Wolverine, the Japanese characters are referred to Logan as a Ronin, a samurai without a master. The film is about finding a renewed purpose as Miracle's protector and finding her evil father Shinji. Logan declares himself removing once more and pulls Shinji's sword from his chest like in the second film. He comes back to life. Logan has his healing suppressed for most of the film and tastes a bit of mortality. Many characters tell him what he wants is a most honorable death. Logan feels that. But Wolverine always has found a purpose in helping people, and he goes out doing just that while ensuring that his daughter, in the X-Men film Logan, Laura, won't grow up used to as a weapon the way he was. That's setting up a lot of those grammatical tropes in the 2017 Logan, which is great. Overall, wrapping things up for me is Wolverine 2013 review. Even though both films are imperfect, let's remember that there's not many films that take a lot of risks, but these two do. And despite having the same director, the films are loosely connected in terms of continuity and a lot of characters overhaul in supporting characters lost. But except for Wolverine, he does come back. But however, they are cut in the same cloth, and taken together, the two films refer to both identities of the hero. There can't be a Logan without the Logan. For this and furthermore, happy 10th anniversary to me. And I will highly recommend everyone to see this film. It's a good film. In this case, thank you so much for joining this latest Andreas for Culture Retrospective review. I will come back, have another one, and in the near future. So have a good day.